Greetings. Welcome to the Money Script Podcast. I'm your host, Yohance Harrison, financial advisor and financial literacy educator. In each episode, you'll hear incredible interviews and get tips and strategies that you can implement into your daily life to help you improve your money script and grow your wealth. Thank you for taking some time with me today. Let's get into this episode of the Money Script. Welcome back to the Money Script Podcast. So excited to be here on a Saturday morning. It is about 105 in Texas. I'm in this tiny little studio trying to stay cool. Luckily, there is a fan over my head, or the AC. So shout out to Central Air. I'm here with a very, very funny individual. And he's actually someone that I reached out. He was another one. He was on my top 10 list. He doesn't know this. He's finding it out right now, but I sent him the invite and he said, yeah, sounds like fun. Let's do it. That was 6 months ago. So we're here, but we finally made it. So I appreciate you. A lot happened since then. That was January. It was right before the world fell apart. So I get it. I get it. Yeah. So with no further ado, please just introduce yourself to the family and we'll get rocking.
What's up, everybody? My name is Chinedu Unaka, comedian, actor, writer, based out of Los Angeles. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, come on, man. You got, I told you, I just listened to your special. You got a lot of stuff going on, man. I know it's hard in pandemic world of Hollywood, but tell everyone, this is your chance. What you got? The hilarious special that I just listened to. I don't even know the name of it because I just listened to it.
Yeah, it's called Mostly Kidding. If anybody wants to go and download it, they can find it on Pandora, Amazon, what else? Spotify, Audible, Google Play, anywhere pretty much you can play anything. So yes, just hour-long jokes, hour-long of some stand-up that you can watch. I taped out in New York at Caroline's. And it was a good time. I enjoyed it.
So I'm curious, what did you think of the announcement that Kanye made this week, or last week rather?
I think it's more related to him struggling, with his bipolar than anything else. I don't think it was necessarily serious. And I think on his part, he's a genius when it comes to marketing because he lives in that realm where there's no bad publicity and he'll take it all. And so, but I think also because, he is struggling with a disorder that sometimes those things, kind of explode into each other. And we have announcements such as this, so this late in the game. So yeah, I don't think he's serious at all. I just think it's something that just kind of came out of an episode,
So I was nervous. I had to do the research and I found out that I think there's like 6 or 7 states it's too late to get on the ballot. He would have to get like 16,000 signatures in Michigan to get on their ballot by July 15th, which is like tomorrow. So yeah, it's almost impossible. He could be a write-in.
If he wanted to do that, he could get those signatures. But like you said, he's already out of the running for 6 or 7 states. There's no campaign. There's no Kanye commercial yet. It's just a way to keep his name in the atmosphere. Most likely, he has something that he's planning to drop.
Most likely, yeah. That's what I've been saying. I was like, this is about some shoes or
clothes. I think he'll sign with Gap. I think.
That just happened 2 weeks ago. It was like you were in the news already.
Exactly. So this is probably setting up for some kind of clothing line.
He was also on the cover of Forbes 2 months ago.
Yeah, he's banking it. He's been making his money. I think he just bought New Hampshire, the state, or New Mexico. One of those things.
I was told he bought half of Wyoming or something.
Yeah, Wyoming. That's the state.
Yeah. And then they wouldn't let him build. But now he's building apparently homeless shelters or something like that. Housing. Yeah. I don't know. But I don't think there's that many homeless in Wyoming. And I don't think Wyoming's a place where homeless people want to be.
Yeah, it's not a lot of free money. I would imagine if I was homeless, I would be homeless in like LA, Santa Barbara, New York. There's a lot of free money just flowing around. And on top of that, I wouldn't wait until I'm homeless to start acting like I'm homeless. That's good financial advice too. If you feel like you're on the borderline of being homeless, get out there now in the corner, start getting that side bread to hang on to your apartment. You feel me? No one's asking for your leasing history when you giving them a few dollars on the corner. So you go home to your apartment. No one's following you. And then get back out there on the corner till you find your job. Don't wait till you're actually homeless to start asking for money. I never understood why people do that. Like, why would you wait until you're at the rock bottom to avoid rock bottom? It's like, get out there now. You're down to your last 600 and start getting that free money. Put in your dirtiest clothes. Go make that bread.
That is true. That is true. That is true. I saw a homeless guy in LA. There was one guy, he made me clean out all the change I had. I had to give him everything because his sign said, I was coming down Sunset, and his sign said, we're all waiting for change. No, excuse me. No, we're all looking for change. Mm-hmm. You're looking at the light, waiting for it to change, and I'm looking for your change. Mm-hmm. And I said, that is just brilliant. Yes. I was like, you're right. That's exactly what I'm doing. You can have all my change. You can have it all.
Oh, facts. If you don't have a talent to display out there, then a funny sign can get you a long way, or a heartwarming sign. I'm pretty sure there's some people out there with, I see a homeless dude with a dog or a kid. I'm like, oh man, I gotta break bread. You feel me? It pulls on the heartstrings.
It does.
It's hard. Those guys who just out there. She's like, give me money. I'm like, I'm going to try a little bit harder, brother. Yeah, it's a lot of options out here. This is the third homeless dude I ran into. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
If I knew I was down to my last dollars and I was going to be homeless, I would use the last bit of money I have to get a flight to Hawaii.
Why? Why Hawaii?
Tropical climate. If I'm going to be homeless, I would think Hawaii would probably be the best climate to be homeless in.
Now, LA is the best climate because we average around between 70 degrees to 85 all year round. And so you don't really have to worry about rain and all that other stuff. Shelter is not hard to find, but then also you're around a lot of people with extra dough.
Okay, I guess you're right.
Hawaii, I don't think it's like that. You might get some coconuts.
That's true.
Me?
I just get my Tom Hanks on. There you go.
But you ain't never gonna get out of that situation. I think you have a better chance in LA. And there's so many homeless people out here too that, you got a community. You feel me? There's a lot of programs for homeless folks in Los Angeles. Look like it's working. But yeah.
All right. So there's some failure advice. Right before you fail.
Rock bottom advice.
Yeah, just start the homelessness. You got to start it. So speaking of homelessness, I know with you being a part of Hollywood, we hear a lot of stories about how people, you think they're living the lime life in Hollywood because you see them in, see red carpet and the clothes that they have and things of that nature. But then later you hear the story and they tell you that they were, living with 8 roommates and sleeping on a couch during those times when, they had a box office hit and things of that nature. Why is there such a separation you feel in Hollywood between the ability to manage and keep money and just thrive? I mean, what is it? Why is it that Hollywood, except for some people way up at the top, everybody else just seems to be struggling in Hollywood? Why is that?
Well, there's a lot into that. On one funny aspect, sometimes those stories aren't true too. You got to remember, when a celebrity is like, oh, remember I was homeless in my car. A lot of times, just a story that sells, and so they say shit like that is sometimes not always true. So that's the real thing that goes on. Secondly, but there is a huge disparity between in the entertainment industry between people who are like making money and then people who are trying to come up, and that happens because it's a lot that goes into it. So on one end, right, you have artists who move here, right, for a dream and they hope things work out. And but there's so many people. The industry is overpopulated, right? There's so many people trying to do this, right? So many people trying to act, so many people trying to do this and that, right? That the competition is very heavy, right? So a lot of times you hear about the Denzel, but you don't hear about those guys who are probably even better than Denzel, but didn't just find the right role that fits them. You feel me? And it just never happened in that way. And so I think oftentimes when your confidence can be higher than your talent sometimes. And so people move here with like a blind reality to what's, to what's real, and sometimes to what's possible pertaining to their particular situation. And some think you're not supposed to have a job as you chase your dream. A lot of people are entertainment not because they're hard workers, oftentimes because they don't want to do nothing, they couldn't do anything else. You feel me?
I do. Yeah.
So a lot of times when they're trying to get entertainment, they struggle with organization. They struggle with being punctual. They struggle with, work ethic. And people have a misunderstanding when you're trying to be an entrepreneur or trying to do something in the entertainment industry. No one is oftentimes harder because no one's telling you to go work. No one's telling you. No one's knocking on your bedroom door telling you to wake up and go do your thing. And so if you don't have that discipline within yourself, oftentimes you're going to run into a brick wall and you're going to struggle. And to make money, you gotta have money. Acting classes is expensive. The gas to get to these auditions is expensive. You're not getting paid to audition. So there's so much that I think people that don't realize when before they get here, that they're kind of shocked by it, and of how hard it is sometimes.
So let's talk about those that get that role, and then all of a sudden they make $1 million, they make $2 million, or hundreds of thousands. Why do they end up broke a year later?
Yeah, that's real. I think for some people, I would imagine it's because, okay, you can become a Hollywood star without a high school or a college education, right? So you never had any kind of class on money management. You never had any kind of, upbringing where you saw that in a healthy way, right? And so a person who is having $0 all of a sudden books this crazy role. Now they're almost trying to catch up with all the things they missed out in their childhood and their early adult life, and they're splurging money as if it's going to keep coming in that way. The money in entertainment is amazing. It's crazy money, but the consistency is not there. You see, so you could get a great job and that check is insane for what the work you had to do, but that doesn't guarantee you the next job. You could do A, B, and C. That doesn't mean D is guaranteed in entertainment. A lot of times when you check somebody's IMDb profile, you see they were hitting 2012, 2013 working, all of a sudden 2014 to 2017, nothing. But they stayed consistent, and then boom, 2018, it started popping off again. And that happens a lot. So I heard early on, like when you get a good check, I would just hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? Don't overspend. Don't spend as if that money is going to constantly come in. Like you could book a TV role, serious regular, and that 1 year make crazy money. Show gets canceled. Don't get another shot again for only God knows how long it takes. And so I think it's a balance of believing in yourself and believing that those jobs will keep coming in, but then also understanding that there is a reality where those jobs don't keep coming in, and kind of prepare for both,
So what do you think it's going to be like being that you are actor, writer, comedian, what do you think the post-COVID world is going to be like for Hollywood? Because everything for the most part came to a screeching halt. Like you said, there was, or I guess we probably said this before we started taping, but there's no or very few auditions going on. There are some, Zoom auditions that you can do right now. But there's no pilots, there's no football, not that matters, but you get what I'm saying. There's just nothing going on right now. All the late shows are being done on Zoom as they are in their closets in their basements. I mean, you still got
Yeah.
writers that are writing for them, but I mean, there's a lot. You've got what 90-something% unemployment in Hollywood right now.
I mean, I feel like there's always 90% unemployment in Hollywood. That's the
Real
game.
talk, real talk.
So, yeah, so I don't really think COVID um, it's not going to crush Hollywood at all. I think a lot of shows pivoted beautifully in terms of adjusting to Zoom, adjusting to being safe at home and all these different things. And some of those shows, they'll show a person shooting in their home by themselves, but if you turn a camera in a wide shot, there's 6 people in there helping them, I would imagine. So it's not as so.
But there's no audience. The studio audience isn't there. Yeah.
You don't need studios to make money. You make money off the ad space.
You know what? You know what? And I've been thinking some of these night shows should never have a studio audience again.
What do you mean, like Carlson Daily and stuff like
that?
Yeah, I mean, it just helps add to the effect because you're doing an interview and sometimes you have like a stand-up guest. And so it does help to have an in-studio audience, but people are not paying for that ticket anyway. A lot of times the tickets are you can find for free.
Yeah,
the money comes from TV revenue based off commercials. And so, commercial auditions are still happening. And Hollywood is slowly already opening back up. So I don't think it was such a drastic change. It just sucks for people who just booked something and then that thing changed or they just canceled the project, because that'll happen. Because you could, let's say you book a series regular TV show with a star and they had a window to take that show from March to the end of June. And that window's gone. And now they can't do it because they had another project already booked for July through the end of the year. And so now that show is scrapped because they need that star to help push the show. And so you who just finally got your opportunity, now that's going out the window. And for that person, it sucks. So a lot of people got hit hard, but for the industry itself will be fine.
Now, how did you decide that you wanted to be a part of this crazy Hollywood industry? Were you the guy that I mean, you didn't really move to LA because you were in LA, but is that why you went into the entertainment field, because you grew up in it, or being in LA? That is not saying grew up in it meaning you grew up on TV, but just being in LA.
Yeah, there's different flavors to LA. I grew up in a part of LA that's outside of Hollywood. Hollywood is just a part of LA. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different cultures of LA. I was born in South Central, left here maybe when I was like 5 years old, second grade, moved to Linwood and Harbor City. So I grew up in like Harbor City, Carson area. And that's not Hollywood at all. It's just regular ass people. And never had an idea of wanting to be in Hollywood at all. I enjoyed movies, enjoyed watching stand-up a lot growing up. When I got into college, my friend put in my head that I should try it. I did it one day off of a dare, and it just kind of went well. And I was just doing it for fun. It was a hobby to me back in school. And then I remember my first paid gig was like $75, and I did 5 minutes, and I could do math. I was like, wait, hold on now. I was like, let me, this, like, that's some quick money, and I'd have to prepare. I was doing jokes I already did before. And so that's when I started doing some research on it, just as a side hustle. And then I started, hosting some Nigerian events, weddings, that was paying pretty good money for a guy that was up there and being funny. And, but I knew it wasn't as consistent. So I still applied to be for Teach for America, got into that. But during that process, I was thinking, okay, I need a stable job, but I also want to do stand-up. Okay, so let me apply to be a teacher for this program, Teach for America, because they pay for a good percentage of your grad school. So I got into Teach for America. On the application says, check this box if you do not want to teach special ed. I can't check that box. But apparently a lot of people check that box. So I got thrown into special ed, which was a blessing in disguise, and I'll get back to that. So, but on the application too, you have to decide what's most important to you: what you teach, where you teach, or what grade you teach. And to me, what's most important to me was where I taught, because I want to continue in entertainment. So I said, as long as you put me in LA, Chicago, New York, I'll teach. So they threw me back in LA. which was great. And so like, cool. So now I have a stable check coming in. On top of that, I'm in a space that's doing entertainment. And so I was teaching in the daytime, but I was teaching SPED, which turned into a blessing because agenda teachers on their feet from first period to sixth period all day long. I was teaching inclusion, mild to moderate students who are in the regular classrooms. So I only had to teach them an hour and a half out the day. And outside of that was just supporting them in their classrooms, or they would come to like take a test quietly. So, and I was able to work ahead oftentimes, and I was good at what I did. So I had a lot of downtime. So with that downtime, I would work on my dream. I would, be writing jokes, sending emails, thinking of show concepts, whatever, networking, and was able to kind of balance that. And I remember one of my friends he wasn't even talking to me, but I think he actually said on Twitter, he said, if you have a full-time job, you're not a real comedian. And I remember I was like, damn, am I a real comedian, But then I started doing research. I was asking my comedy friends, like, yo, so what you do today? Shit, I went to bed around 2, woke up at 11, played a little PlayStation. After that, hit the gym, shit, got back to glow nap. Now I'm about to go hit the show. I'm like, when you leave for your show? I left till 5 p.m. because do open mic first. I'm like, well, shit, I get off at 3:30. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so let me go ahead and keep making this money as I figure out how this dream worked. And I was able to have the money to invest in acting classes, have the money to do a show for less money because I didn't need the money. You see what I'm saying? Have the show to travel to a different state, to attend something I wanted to attend, to submit to festivals and shit like that. And so I think, I think if you have the understanding that there's enough time in the day now because of this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in a comedy club making lesson plans for my kids, as I'm waiting to go on stage. I'm in the room, in the classroom, as the kids are taking tests, sending an email to my agent. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to do both for a while until I started doing auditions, which was like a daytime thing. So that's why I left teaching. But those years of grinding and just sacrificing the fun, never been to a happy hour in my life. You know what I'm saying? Never been that guy that got a chance to go to the club every weekend to party, because that's when like the money making nights for stand-up and acting was like Saturday and Friday, especially for stand-up. So as long as I was okay with the sacrifices, I was able to manage my time and my money wisely so I can chase the dream in a responsible way that wasn't stressful, So that's how I kind of worked it.
And that kept you from hitting rock bottom. So you didn't have to go
100%,
stand on the corner and ask for money. Yeah,
so all the stand-up money was, and the money I would make on the road and everything was just extra cash that I could just put to the side. And, able to pay off my school loans because of that and different things like that.
Oh, it keeps getting better. Ladies and gentlemen, this is financial planning right here. This is financial literacy 101 right here.
And it was just, it wasn't necessarily taught this. It was just kind of almost just thinking in a common sense way, just always have a good grasp on what's real and what's possible and how I should be moving.
I call those are values-based decisions. You were making decisions based on your values, not just what you want for immediate gratification, not even just what you need as far as the level of human hierarchy, but just thinking of, okay, what's important to me?
Right.
And it sounds like it was important to you to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, self-sufficient. I never wanted to have to ask parents or friends for money. I never wanted to be
or strangers.
Or strangers, and I've been there for other people, and I have no problem with that. But I never wanted to be that person myself, and so that was one of the reasons. But now, mind you, who knows? There's also this balance of, because I got in really close with some auditions. But who knows if maybe I would have booked it if I had more energy that day. You know what I'm saying? Like if I wasn't so tired from my week. So it's also that too. But you never know, right? So because even if you're not teaching, you still have to find a way to support yourself. So maybe you're a waiter, maybe you're a waitress, whatever. So it was that type of thing. And I think I got better as a stand-up because I'm in front of kids. I'm in front. It's still an audience. You know what I'm saying? I'm still And a funny,
You actually had some funny on your on your show. I keep forgetting the name of. What's the name of it again?
mostly kidding.
Mostly kidding. There we go. Mostly kidding. There was a bit in there about the kids. I was cracking up.
Yeah. Way more stories about the kids. So I'm actually working on a show about that. But yeah, man, it was hard. It was a grind, but I think it was worth it for sure.
So when did you? I mean, with all of this financial wisdom that you amazingly is kind of already instilled in you, when did you first become conscious of money? When did you realize that money was a thing to be spent, to be saved, to be thrown in the air?
Yeah. I feel like my parents didn't necessarily teach me about money per se, but they did instill in me the value of it, though. Save. Don't spend your money unwisely. I would just sometimes not even talk to them directly, just hearing them kind of like discuss money. Just being an ear in the room. I'm always been that kid or person who's down to learn from anybody. So I just take everything in. And so, I used to ask for, hey dad, can I get these shoes or whatever, growing up. No, we're not getting no shoes. What's wrong with the shoes you have already, And I'm like, but I want, the shoes broke? Did they break? I'm like, all right, fuck it. So you let it go. But then you don't realize that does affect you though growing up, because you start asking yourself that. What's wrong with my shoes right now? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with,
I just need to let y'all know, listening, there is a beautiful stack of J's behind him. I just want to.
That's like that I can justify, because it's like working in a corporate job, right?
Okay.
You got to, right? It's like a suit, your tie. Shoes, when you're a stand-up, is your tie and your suit.
Oh, okay. Okay. You've actually thought this through. You've had this conversation before. Okay.
And because I'm flat-footed, so a lot of shoes I can't wear without being uncomfortable. But Jordans, oddly enough, I never started wearing Jordans until I was an adult. I didn't realize I was missing out on a lot of comfort. Like, they're really comfortable shoes, some of them. And so on stage, I actually saved money because I dress very plain on stage, jeans, hoodie. But if your shoes are really nice, you still pass. You feel me? Versus having nice jacket, nice, everything being so expensive. I actually dress pretty bland, but I keep my shoes pop so it look nice. But I'm actually still saving money because I don't spend too much on everything above the shoes.
Last piece I wanted to touch on is 2020 has been a very interesting year. We've already shared some of the fun parts of Kanye deciding to distract us all. We also got to watch an entanglement unfold. I'm sure you've already read about that by now. If you haven't, then you guys can have fun with that. COVID-19. And then on top of all of that, we've had a huge spotlight shown onto police brutality and racial injustice and inequality. And we've got all this Karen nonsense going on all across the United States. So like I said, it's been an interesting year. What I've been talking to a lot of folks that are entrepreneurs like myself is about our role in helping the children and the younger generations make the world a better place. And particularly my role comes in financial literacy. That's the purpose of this podcast. It's free. You don't have to pay to get to a podcast. And I want to bring different stories, ideas, ways to think about money. And I mean, thank you, because you did an amazing take on making it in Hollywood and chasing the hustle and the dream while keeping a 9-to-5. But I'm just curious for you as an entrepreneur, how do you think we can make the greatest impact in our communities? When I say our, I'm talking Black and brown communities when it comes to financial literacy.
Yeah, I think, on the biggest scale, I think there has to be some curriculum changes for sure. I think Black and brown communities, they are there are stars from a lot of that information. Like that information just isn't given to you. Like I don't understand why biology is as mandatory over financial literacy. I don't care who you are, you're going to be dealing with money, whether you're a doctor, you're a custodian, or whether you're an astronaut. Mind you, I loved working on exponents, but I would really have loved to know about the stock market at a very early age. That would have been more beneficial to me. I would really have loved to learn more about investing and banking and home loans and car loans and the difference between buying a car and leasing a car and all these different things that I had to learn later as an adult when I could have learned that in high school. A lot of people don't go to college. Sometimes in college you can't even get information unless you purposely enroll in a class that has nothing to do with your major. So if 100% of the population is going to be dealing with money, why is it the curriculum in our schools doesn't teach money as mandatory? I don't need to know if I give Sally $10, how much money I get back. Yeah, I got that. But what about the shit that matters? And so I think that's a big one. But besides that, I think it's just important to have those conversations happening, resource being shared, and just kind of make sure everybody's taking care of their own circles. Make sure your family know these things. Make sure your friends know these things. As everybody's taking care of their own circles, and eventually, everyone is taken care of. But I think the biggest thing for me that will see the immediate impact is to have some of these things being taught in schools. So for those who are really good with this information, have some free programs that you do at the high schools or are very low that can be bought, at a good value that you do for free for high school kids, for the boys and the girls. Put together some free YouTube videos, because I learned a lot of this stuff from just watching YouTube. And so I just think we have to raise the importance of things we talk about when it comes to financial literacy along the lines of, health and fitness too. I think that also should be pushed harder in schools. So that's the biggest thing to me.
Man, I agree with you 100%. It sounds like you may have been listening to some of my earlier podcasts with your comment about biology, because I feel the same way. And when I need more people to help teach some of the courses that we're doing across the nation on financial literacy, just know that I will be ringing your phone again, because man,
I don't know person to be teaching it.
Now, hey, you are. I mean, you but what you don't realize is that you gave a lesson of values-based decision making. I mean, that's one of the biggest problems that I find that clients have, is making decisions that are in alignment with their values and in alignment with their goals, versus just making these decisions for the now. I mean, it's the same thing with Jordans. I've told the story many times about in 1985 when Jordans came out, they were $85. Well, $85 would also got you 6 shares of Nike stock.
Yeah.
That Nike stock today would be worth about $34,000.
Yeah.
Most people don't have the Jordans they bought in 1985.
Oh, these stocks though, brother.
But think about how many pair of Jordans you could buy though.
Facts, not facts. No, trust me. Like I said, the stock market is like the next level in terms of really getting, Black and brown families to close that wealth gap. I think that's a lot of information. Even the smartest people I know are clueless to the stock market. Before maybe a year and a half ago, I barely knew anything about it. I've been learning a lot thanks to my little brother, who's dives deep into that stuff. So yeah, it's a thing it's not kept. It's like a wide open secret, that that's kind of kept away from minority communities, that they should put more effort and study into it, and more belief in it too. I think that's why they what you mean, put my money in it, and then what happens? Where the money go?
Yo, so man, hey, Chinedu, I really appreciate you spending some time with me, and spend time with us, not just me, but us, with the whole audience here. What do you have coming up next? What should we look for? We got the Mostly Kidding. What's coming up next? You mentioned there's children's books as well. I don't know if that was a joke, if that was for real.
Children's books? Me?
Yeah, it was on. I thought I heard it on the album.
Oh no. The album. Yeah. No, that's a joke. No.
Oh, that's a joke. Oh, there's not. Okay, there's not children's books.
Yeah, I might write some children's books. That's something I've thought about. I've been wanting to write some children's books, maybe down the line, just about helping kids like kind of tackle the school culture, you know, and like the things that comes with it. So, but yeah, next for me, man, there's a movie out right now that I'm in called 2 Minutes of Fame. And then other than that, man, just basic IG and Twitter. That's from Chinedu Comedy is my Twitter, then Chinedu Unaka is my spot, my IG.
You're probably wondering what just happened. Chinedu was talking and then he stopped. Maybe it was technical difficulties. No, it was just, two friends talking, and it's Hollywood, and there's some things that you just can't know about yet. So we had a little conversation that was that doesn't need to be known. So we just had to cut it out, and there was no better way to do it. But we did enjoy a really good laugh there at the end, and I wish I could tell you the joke, but I can't. So instead, I have a special treat for you.
My name is Chinedu, man. It's a tricky name. Nigerian. Ain't Nigerians in there? We got a Nigerian? Shout out to you. What's your name? Mary. See that shit? She gave me her Jamba Juice name, man. It's your real name, Mary. I ain't got time for this shit. There we go. I got BC. Give it up for her. Gave me her actress name. Haven't been to one audition, man. I love being Nigerian. It's great. But, it makes me a Nigerian comedian. It's no different than being a regular comedian, but it's really hard for me to build my fan base because nobody trusts me with their email. I'm not the spam guy, man. It's my uncle. I get them shits too, My full name, prepare yourself, is Chinedu Unaka. It's my full name. It was tough growing up in LA with a name like that. Like I almost had to repeat kindergarten twice because it took me too long to learn how to spell my full name. I love my name, but at that age, I was a little jealous of the kids. Really easy name to spell. They only had like 3 letters. Just always cocky about it, right? Like Amy and Ben, Remember one time, she was like, "Hey, Amy, could you come up front and spell your first name for the class?" She was like, "Yes, I can, Miss Brown." Except for this time, I want you all to spell your last name. The kids is like, "Ooh, last names." I'm in the back like, "Fuck, last names." Checking my notes, Amy comes up, she's super cocky. "My first name is A-M-Y. And my last name is M-A-Y. I'm like, hold up, man. That's the same 3 letters remix, man. That ain't shit, Amy. What's your middle name, Yams? Fuck. I gotta spell 3 SAT words. I'm only 5 years old, man. Even as an adult, I run into problems with my name because I'm African, but I don't sound African. That's the issue. So when somebody see me or hear me, they expect me to say my name is like Leroy, right? Tyrone, Jamal. The classics, It's good names. The vinyls. But if I sounded like this, yes? Hey, but not like this! Because I don't sound like that when I tell somebody my name is actually Chinedu Unaka. The way the brain works, they hear Trinidad Propaganda Mufasa. Every single time, man. Y'all can't pronounce my name tonight. Feel free to call me Chris. Feel free to call me Chris, man. It's not a nickname, it's just my Starbucks name. I got a Starbucks name besides Mary here.
So please check out his new film, 2 minutes of fame. Also, if you just move on, whatever you're listening to this podcast on, if you go search the comedy section and you type in Mostly Kidding, I am mostly positive that you will be able to find his latest stand-up, and it's hilarious. Everybody, enjoy the laughter. We could all use it right now. And please, if you have not, register to vote, vote locally, vote the national elections, vote, 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 vote. Till next time. Oh, indeed. Thanks for joining us on the Money Script podcast. Be sure to check out our other episodes, subscribe, follow, and give us 5 stars. Continue to send your financial questions on Twitter or Instagram at The Money Script. Go to moneyscriptwealth.com and schedule your complimentary consultation to discuss your specific goals and concerns. Financial advisory and investment management services are offered by Moneyscript Wealth Management PLLC, a registered investment advisory firm registered in the state of Texas and California and other states where exempt. The Moneyscript LLC and the Moneyscript Wealth Management PLLC and guests of the episode may have interest in the investments mentioned today. The opinions and views are expressed here are for informational purposes only. This material is educational in nature and should not be deemed as a solicitation for any specific product or service. All investments involve risk and a significant loss of principal. The Moneyscript nor Moneyscript Wealth Management offer tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney for specific advice about your situation. Until next time.